Found a couple of the 12 volt 7 amp hour gel cells. They were dead, 8 volts each. So I got a little 25 VA trafo, 2 UF current limiting capacity on here. Alright, there. Full wave bridge rectifier on a heatsink. It's not getting hot though. And then the 2 batteries have to be in series because the output's at 25 or 24 volts, but it's actually registering over here at the 31. It's been running about an hour. I have to keep an eye on it because I don't want to cause the batteries to get too hot, and it's homemade obviously, so there's not a lot to it. There's no real regulation as such other than that current limiting capacitor, which keeps it at about a 31 watt 32 watt draw, which is a little more than the transformer over here is rated for. But here's what the voltage is sitting at after an hour. So it was at 16 volts before. And it doesn't appear to be charging equally. One battery is taking the charge better than the other battery. So you can see, let's see, we'll measure the right battery first. Right. It's finally over 10 volts, that's good. And then let's measure the left battery. That's good, we're holding a little over 20 volts total. So this needs to be up past 24 volts to have each battery at least 12 volts. I'm going to have to let this run for another couple hours, and I'm going to have to set an alarm so I can come back and check on it. Because it's not fused or anything. And that's the total of the charger, right? This is the pigtail that goes into the power outlet. Current limiting capacitor, 25 VA rated, 120 volt this side, and then it's 12 volt on either side of a center tap, so it's a 24 volt output into the full wave bridge rectifier, which is registering as that higher voltage, and it's delivering about an amp at 30 volts out and 30 watt red on the input. That's about an amp into it, which is probably a little high for the total charging current. Alright, so this one sits up at 14.35. This other one was sitting at 16 volts earlier, under charge. It still is. Gone up by about 0.4 volts since earlier. Anyway, it's just a cheap, simple homemade rectifier, or homemade charger rather. The full wave bridge rectifier is very much overrated. This could be just a single diode, but this is a 1000 volt, 10 amp or 35 amp full wave bridge rectifier. It's overkill for this scenario, but it's working. That's what I had on hand. Easier to plug into a full wave bridge rectifier than to find diodes and put some connectors on them and throw it on there. Also, this way I'm getting both sides of the sign converted positive pulse in, so it's a solid hump, 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 instead of a hump, pause, which is what a single diode would be. That's a half wave rectification. So we'll let this go for a while. Looks like maybe another 2 hours or another hour, and then I should come check on it probably. And we'll see how that goes. And then I'm only doing this so that I can then apply that over there to this guy and to be able to short a charge over 2 of the windings that actually will deliver a current pulse, which will magnetize the squirrel cage rotor in there, so that when it spins up with the excited capacity, or with the exciting capacity attached, it will then come up in voltage. So I'll get a VARS developed on this side, and then I can show you what the difference is, because right now it's probably under an amp and a half, maybe somewhere in there, but it'll be about 3 or 4 amps versus the 8 amps that it was to drive this at the rated RPM with a belted connection. So that's why I'm charging these batteries.